We just checked in for the Gumball Rally. If you can even hear me, it's pretty loud in here. We just checked in. The Gumball Rally, if you don't know, is it's a competition where you can see if you can ride the most rides at Disneyland. This year it's going to be actually California Adventure, first time. So I got my teammates here. We got Lizzie here, and we got Trey over here. And I'll kind of show you a quick glance of the room here, if you can see everything. They'll announce the rules in a second up on that stage, and we'll have our game booklets that we'll get. And what do you think, Trey? Yeah? Okay, Lizzie, what do you think?
It's gonna be great. This is the year.
Yeah, this is the year. Our best finish, I think, was 13th, tied for 13th a couple years ago, and
it was me and Maddie.
Yeah, it was Trey and I. And we got like 30th or something last year, 20th the year before or something, so not too bad, but we're shooting for better this year. It's a fun time. If you don't know about it, you should check it out. It's called the Micechat Gumball Rally. So we're gonna have some fun and hopefully win.
One team captain from every team up front, and only the team captain. So unless you're sitting at a table, we need a team captain. I need to see a blue wristband. So if you're standing up front, you need to have a blue wristband up, and only the blue wristbanded lucky helper, team captain, should be front. My friends, it is my sad duty to let you know that this morning at California Adventure, there was a murder. Before I say anything else, I think you need to watch this video. Matt, you'll step away.
A dastardly crime has been committed, so I've gathered all of you here today to craft the case. Did Felina Pearl silence custard cocktail with a churro on the prowl round? Or was it someone or something else? The clues are scattered all around California Adventure, one for each attraction. Can you crack the case and conquer them all? Or will the clock run out? The team with the most clues at the end of the day will solve the case for all the gumballs.
That's a little something we call production value. Thank you to Scott Matula and Trevor Perez for putting together this Scott over there. Look at this, more production value, because we're actually going to put the rules up on the screen so everyone can see them this year. A few things that you will need to know. This year will be handled a little differently than in years past, so you do need to be paying attention to the rules and the game books, plural, and you'll hear more about that here in a second. So, who's ready for a grand old murder? Mr. Magic, if you please, we'll do the first rule up here. We're going to start with the most important thing of all. the twist. But before we do that, I just want to tell you a little bit about this game, right? So the sun rose over Disney California Adventure like it always does, golden, bright, and full of promise. But today something was different. A heinous crime had been committed right in the heart of the place next to the happiest place on earth, which is California Adventure. A character rubbed out, a crime scene hidden in plain sight, and a rogues gallery of suspects lurking in the shadows. That's where you come in, detectives. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, crack the case before time runs out. You'll need to figure out who pulled the dastardly deed, who got snuffed out, what weapon did the job, and where it all went down. But don't think that this is some leisurely stroll down Buena Vista Street. No, you'll be racing from one end of the park to the other and probably back and forth again. Riding attractions, gathering clues, and proving that you were on the scene. The questions? Some of them are straightforward, some of them are downright zany, the kind that would make even the sharpest gumshoe second guess themselves. So be careful. And one more very important thing. Watch your backs. Murderous princesses have been seen in the area, setting traps, throwing off investigators, and making sure that this case isn't solved too easily. Cast members, fellow teams, they might have information, or they might be leading you straight into a red herring. Don't trust anyone. There are bound to be twists in the road. Speaking of which, it's a twist! First and most important thing, stash your communicators. Once inside the park, keep your phone stashed away. You don't want anyone tracking your movements. But one member of your team must have a phone available to snap proof photos on select attractions. Only one team member should submit these required photos. Your game book will ask for the time, social network, and your social media handle used to post. And that's so we can find the proof. So you have to write it in your game book. Posting rules: use hashtag MC Gumball Rally and tag at Micechat. Do not share questions or answers. If we can't verify your posts, you won't receive the points. It's that simple. If you don't have a public social media account, please see Matt after these rules, and he will give you a phone number that you can send your photo to. But it's much, much better for you to put it on social media. It doesn't get lost that way. So any questions about the phone usage? You're not going to be using your phones today. You're not going to use them for checking wait times. You're not going to be using them to make mobile order reservations at restaurants. You're just not using phones other than those proof photos. Now, will you need your phone to get into the park? Yes. You will not be receiving your game book until after you enter the park. So tricky. The next one is look sharp, because we're going to be taking our group photo at the opening of the park today in Paradise Park. That is the World of Color Amphitheater. We're going to try to have you inside the park before park opening, so at rope drop, you will head straight to Paradise Park, where PhotoPass is waiting for us. They have a big ladder. They're going to be up above us, and they're going to take the most stunning group photo we have ever taken. You will receive your game book as soon as the photo has been taken. That's a neat little twist. What a twist. Ladies and gentlemen, books, 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 and books, because there are 4 game books. I want you to think about that for a second. You need to solve murder, murderer, weapon, location. Each book solves one of those riddles. The mystery is too big for one book. This year you'll swap your game books at the, Matt, what's the location again? It's the Award Wieners. Okay, so Award Wieners, everybody know where Award Wieners is on Hollywood Boulevard? They have a big seating area that is also the location of Mickey's Filler Magic. When you exit Filler Magic, there's some seating back there. We're going to be in that far back corner, close to stage 17, where they have that marble shop, and there used to be a game called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Play it? Production Value. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Play it. So we're going to be back in that corner, but in the seating area for award winners, so that our team is covered. If it rains, your books don't get destroyed, that whole thing. It's very important everyone understand where that is, because you're going to receive your first book at Paradise Park, but you'll do all of your swaps in the patio of award winners. Now this is very, very important because Disney called me yesterday. They know that's where we're going to be so that we don't get thrown out. But then they said, if a line forms, or if there's cheering, or anything that disturbs the other guests, they will make us move. And we don't want that to happen, because if they make us move, you won't know where to find us, and it sort of ruins the game. So what we're going to do is, when you go back there by stage 17 and the exit of Mickey's Filler Magic, you are going to send just your team captain to do the book swap. The rest of your team is going to remain right on the outside of the seating area by the railing, so we can see you all. You haven't really separated. And then you will reunite before you run off. So we'll know it's all okay, so don't worry about that. Next rule, please. Wait, back. Points. Oh, yes. Every ride this year is worth 1 point. But the murder question in each book is worth 2 points. Murder really does matter. All right. How is the game played? How many of you have never played this game before? Awesome! You are going to have so much fun, because this game is really all about riding the rides. The object of the game is to ride as many attractions at Disney California Adventure to gain as many points as possible in the time allotted. You will need to prove to the judges which attractions you have experienced by answering questions in the game book provided. You must ride the attraction to earn the points, unless otherwise instructed in the game book. The value of each attraction is 1 point. The murder mystery element is 2 points. There will be no partial points for multi-choice, multi-part questions, and you must answer each part to get the full points. The team with the most points at the end of the day wins. Ties are broken by whether or not the mystery was solved and by the number of attractions completed, followed by the time you finish. So as soon as you're done, you definitely want to return to Packet Swap, because this year you are going to finish inside the park. You will be finishing at Packet Swap at the exit of Mickey's Filler Magic, which will make your lives much easier. We're doing this for a couple of reasons, mainly because California Adventure is smaller than Disneyland. Some teams may finish well before the end of the day, and we want you to be able to enjoy the rest of your time at California Adventure having fun before you return here at 6:30. So be back here at the Anaheim Hotel at 6:30, but there's no need to run, because you will already have finished inside the park. I like this rule. So, most important thing there in the rules that you just heard was you can only get points for attractions you actually ride. So if you know the answer, but you did not ride, can you answer it? No. And that is very important. So you must complete the attraction to get the points. Even if you already know the answer, can figure it out, or guess, you must ride the attraction to actually score the points. Additionally, if it's possible to leave an attraction early, such as a theater show at Disney Junior, you must remain in the attraction until it ends and the doors open. If you leave an attraction early, and Tiffany and her little watchers, her minions of doom, are standing there at the exits looking for teams that leave early, and if you do it, you're disqualified, so do not do it. Points deducted for wrong answers only. So this is another reason that you do not guess. You are not deducted points for the questions you leave blank. You are deducted points if you answer it and get it wrong. So don't even try to cheat, it's not worth it. Use the pen provided. You must use the pen that's in your packet. I believe it's a black pen. Is that right, Getaway today? Blue? Is it blue? You will only use your blue pen. Pivot, pivot. That's right. If you lose your blue pen, we'll have a few at packet swap. But if you buy a pen in the park, make sure it's a blue ink pen. I mean, basically a ballpoint pen, you're going to be safe. The reason we say don't use a Sharpie in your rules book here is the score team uses Sharpies. So it looks to them like they've marked your book up, and it can mean that they don't check one of your answers, it doesn't get tabulated or gets tabulated wrong. So just don't use Sharpies. Do any of you have Sharpies? Throw them away. Not all attractions are listed in your game book. Skip the attractions that we have not included. For the most part, we have included everything, but there might be weird little things that aren't really attractions that we didn't include. Keep your teams together. This is a team sport. So if your team splits up, then you're not playing the game the way it was intended. So teams found more than a few arm lengths apart, other than as instructed at packet swap, or if you're going to use the restroom, things like that. It's fine for you to separate as long as you're in the same spot. So we know that you're not all going to the same stall in the restroom. We also know that you may need to separate at certain attractions. California Adventure is ADA accessible, which means that every attraction you can get a wheelchair all the way through the line. So even if one of your team members cannot ride an attraction, they should be able to make it through the queue with you, and then they can just go to the exit and wait for you at the exit. So that's the way we will handle that this year. In the past at Disneyland, there are rides that are not accessible, and we just tell that extra team member just to go straight to the exit. But the idea is you are all still together because you're at the same attraction, and we know to look for them. Getting on the rides, there we are. You may only use the regular standby lines. There is no single rider this year. Teams may not use Lightning Lane, Rider Switch passes, guest assistance cards, buddy passes, Club 33, AAA, or any other means to access an attraction other than standby line. That's it. Keep your team together and use standby line. Very easy this year. It is never okay to ask a cast member to help you skip the line, even if they offer. If you are on an attraction when it breaks down and you are given a re-entry card, you may only use it for that same attraction. If you are seen using a re-ride pass, be sure to notify us, as it may cause our spotters to disqualify you. You will know that an attraction, let us know if the attraction is down, the time it went down, and your team number, and we will let our spotters know that you may be using a card to re-enter that ride. So if you're on an attraction, it breaks down, they give you a re-add, you can use that re-add, but only for the same attraction. So you can't take it to another ride. Does that make sense? That's important. Every year somebody gets that one wrong. Disastrous consequences. We will verify the attraction is down and notify the team. Essentially, if you do something which gives you an unfair advantage over any other team, it is considered unfair. And that's the point of this game. So don't do anything that another team wouldn't be able to do. If a cast member comes up to you and says, "Wow, I really like your detective outfit," go to the front of the line. You have to say, "No." But do it in a really nice way. Another thing I do want to warn you all really quick, there may be some questions which result in you needing to go into a store or a restaurant to look at something. Please be super careful to not be disruptive to guests or the cast members. Last year at Mickey's house, we had some teams rushing in to get an answer in the queue and then rush out, and they kind of made a big deal out of it to the cast members, and so the cast members started telling other teams they could not enter the attraction. So please be mindful of the fact that how you interact with cast members and parks and spaces does impact our ability to run the event. So we just ask that you be on your very best Disney behavior. Be as invisible as possible when you're inside of places you wouldn't normally be doing things like searching around the shop. And if a cast member points at something to you, like they want to tell you where the answer is, don't necessarily trust them, because Matt and some other people are going to go into those spaces today and warn the cast members not to help you all, or if they do, just to lead you astray. It's just the way he is. Capability access. Who are my teams that are using DAS today? Any of you? A few. It's very, very hard to get DAS these days, but many people have wheelchairs or other devices and may need assistance in certain attractions. Here's our general rule of that. If an attraction is ADA accessible and you're capable of riding it, please write it that way, using the normal queue. If for some reason you do need special assistance, let the cast member know. And if you are using DAS, just make sure that Matt and I know before you leave this room today, so we can let our spotters know. And we do track all of that, so it's perfectly fair for everyone and safe for everyone as well. No external help. While it may be tempting to ask friends to bring you lunch or text them and say, hey, what do wait times look like? Can you do that? If the murderous princesses try to give you a mandarin orange, can you accept it? Because that orange is probably poisoned. Do not accept help from anyone outside your own teams. It's a hard thing to do. Teams love each other, they bring each other things, so I suggest if you brought gifts for people, give it to them before we give you your game book after the photo. So anything you do between now and when I give you your game book, you can do anything you want, but as soon as you get that game book, the game is on, and all the rules apply. No Disneyland app usage is our next one. We already told you we're not using the app for anything this year, so you do not need your Disneyland app. Expected conduct. Please abide by Disneyland rules and cast member instructions at all time, which means, princesses, no pushing or disrupting the experience of the park for other guests in any way. No loud talking, princesses, on attractions. No leaving attractions early, no pushing guests out of the way. Get out of my way, kid. Or any other disruptions of any kind. In short, be a model park guest, just like Walt Disney without the cigarette. Set a good example, be a good sport, make Uncle Walt proud. There may be circumstances where you need to stop for a moment in a queue or a shop for a clue. Please do so in a respectful way. We already talked about that. The next big rule, things change. Keep in mind that lands, rides, attractions may open late, close early, shut down for parades or processionals or princesses. You never know. So please go with the flow and plan your day wisely. Hopefully we do not have any weather issues this year. Looks like it's going to be gorgeous. All right, can I ask the rally staff for help during the game? Every year somebody sees a question and they panic because they don't quite understand what that question means. And there's maybe a little more of that this year than usual because California Adventure is smaller, has fewer attractions. We needed to do things that filled up your day and made it a little more fun. So take the time to really think that question through. If you approach a staff member, they will not be able to help you, not because they don't want to, but because no one has seen the game book except that man and myself. So they won't know what the answer is, and if they try to help you, they may be giving you wrong information, so don't even bother answering them. The only thing that we tell them they are allowed to help you with is pointing you in the right direction to find Rally Central, which is at the exit of Mickey's Store Magic for the 15th time. Now, does anyone not know where Rally Central Packet Swap is located? Please raise your hand if you don't, in your head, can't quite figure out where award wieners and everybody knows? Yep. All right, good. And everybody knows where Pacific Park is, or Paradise Park, where the World of Color Amphitheater is. There's a big round area in the middle that is more or less where we are assembling. You will see us for sure. You will see a big ladder with a PhotoPass person. That's where we're going. So the minute that they do rope drop, the second that they say, Disneyland California Adventure is now open for the day, head straight up the parade route to Paradise Park because we're going to take that photo 5 minutes after park opening. Okay? So we're going to roll our way over there as quickly as we can. And finally, what if a question is wrong? Well, do your best to answer it. Ask the question the way you think it was asked. If necessary, and only when necessary, you may explain your answer. So basically, we are not trying to throw you off. We do want to verify that you rode the attractions. And if you're colorblind and we ask a color question, figure out a way to make sure we know that you rode the attraction using that clue. All right? And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the important stuff. Emergency Micechat hotline. In your instructions that we will be giving you out here is a phone number, 714-696-9262. Again, that number is 714-696-9262. That number can be called if you have an emergency, okay? You're worried about a child back at home, you lost your game book, you can't find Rally Central, or perhaps it was moved by Disney. They said, no, you're being too loud or disruptive, they're gonna move us. If they move us and you can't find us, call this number. So we were smart enough to do that. Again, production value. Finish line, you're going to finish at no later than 6 p.m. I suggest though, if you finish earlier, don't just go riding rides and having fun. Finish the game. Go straight to Rally Central at 6 p.m. and turn in your game book. Please, when you finish, if it's your last book, because some teams may be finishing before other teams have even received their last book, let us know that's your last book. So say, we're finishing the game, this is our last book. And that lets them gather all your packets, and then that will start scoring your team. So please make sure you let us know when you're finishing. Again, normally when you finish, we have a line of people and we're cheering you on and hooray, how did you do? This year, it's going to be quiet. We're going to say, thank you, congratulations. And it'll be just your team. We're very polite. It's very nice, very nice. Get yourself a hot dog and have a lovely day. And then we will celebrate you here starting at 6:30 back in this room. So the big celebration and the thank yous and the congratulations and all of that will happen at 6:30. So please, it's only because Disney scared me. That I won't be there with pom-poms cheering you on. Woo! Woo! As you know I want to. And then finally, the award ceremony is here. Have fun with your teams today. I do need a little help from a couple of people. We have some influencer teams here today. I need you all over here. And if any of our teams with disabled members have questions, you may also come over here. We will answer your questions. The rest of you, we're going to release you to go over to California Adventure. Did everybody get their instruction sheet? Pick them up from